that we had, and you have Kahoot. So it's actually for the second class that you have there. Oh, there's no link for Kahoot in the classroom. But yeah, that's the link. www.kahoot.it, put it into your browser, and then hit enter, and then put the link. It will ask you to put on the link. So you can go to your browser and then put the link, and then put your nickname. Oh, you will get. Okay, so there are two winners for today. You will get a Marvel. It's actually a limited Marvel mini. Yes. So there you go for the first to get into the first in the podium. Oh yeah. Just have to go directly to enter that website kahoot.it. www. Yeah, you can also scan. You can use your phone. Oh, you're. Can you help others, please? So open Google if you need to.
If you have done Kahoot before, the way to win the Kahoot is that you have to click the right answer, the fastest one. They count the correct answer at the time. Okay? The winner will be the one that.
Yeah, even though you got a correct answer, but you are lesser in time, then you will still get small points or less points. So the thing is here, get the right answer immediately once the questions flash, you'll get more points. However, one wrong answer will lead you to the bottom. So you better have to assess the situation as quickly as possible, just like how we assess the changing climate in our country. Yes, the question will automatically pop up on the screen, and the choices will be on your screen. Yes. So the operator, the admin will start, and then you will see the questions being flashed on the monitors, and then you're gonna have to choose the answers on your computers or on your devices. Are you ready? Is everyone already in the quiz?
Ready for the battle.
Oh, okay. Oh, because the language is in.
Right now, we got 16. Adele is here. Is it Adele?
Because the language is.
17 already. Two more.
Mm.
If you like the avatar, because good. Do it, I like it.
Maybe. Okay, can you help? You can use it on your phone as well. You can use your phone for that. Yes. Partner. Huh? Who is the mouse? Mickey. Mouse. Yeah, keyboard is actually okay. Okay.
There's more.
Your name. Uh, you put your name. Or you use your the same email.
I like the hand.
Sam. Okay, so I think everyone is now ready. Everyone ready? Oh, Monero. Let me go to Google. Log in.
The world is a hat.
Four, three,
You are
one.
too in.
Me? Yeah.
Get ready.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready to eye on the prize?
Yes.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go! The first question. What are agriculture? Those are questions. And the choices. You have to choose one of those choices. Only one. You should be doing now. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 11 got the right answer. So it's all of the above. How did you get that? Sorry, Bill. Oh, you got the right answer. All right. Okay, next. Let's see. Oh, here's the ranking right now. Okay, get ready. There you go. You have 30 seconds. Which one is not agricultural sectors? You have fisheries, water, livestock, or forestry. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, that's all. Oh, the correct answer is water, not an agricultural sector. Okay, so let's see the ranking next. So that's the ranking right now. Mouse is on top of the game. Shall you have more than 10 points to get into the top. All right, next question. So you could see your names there. Next question. Which are principles of crop management in conservation agriculture? Minimum soil disturbance, permanent soil cover, crop rotation, or all of the above?
They are also susceptible to different pests and diseases. To keep your land fertile and strong for a long time, it is important to routinely change the crop you cultivate on particular fields. Crop rotation comes with several benefits. In this message, we are going to teach some of the benefits you can get from rotating your crops and also how to develop a suitable crop rotation plan specifically for your field. Now let's mention a few benefits of crop rotation. If you have a recurring problem with some particular pests and diseases on your field, practicing crop rotation can help you eliminate them without using pesticides or insecticides. This is because some pests and diseases can only affect or attack specific crops. This means that when you change the crop cultivated on that field, the diseases and pests will not have a susceptible host to attack. Hence, they will either migrate to a different area where they can get the types of crops they want, or will die off on the field. For example, a very common pest of maize is the stalk borer. This pest feeds on the maize plants and causes a significant reduction in productivity of the crops. Now, if you identify this pest on your field and grow groundnuts the following year, you will be eliminating these pests from the field because they do not like groundnut. The second benefit of crop rotation is that it helps you rejuvenate the soil on your field. Legume cultivation is very vital for this purpose. This is because legumes like groundnuts, cowpea, and soya have the ability to fix nitrogen in the atmosphere into the soil and feeds mainly on phosphorus and potassium. Such crops are called light feeders because they require less nutrients from the soil. Maize and other cereals rely heavily on nitrogen and less on phosphorus. So, by rotating the cultivation of maize and groundnuts plus other crops, you ensure a continuous balance of the nutrients in the soil. The third thing you need to know to enable you to draw a good crop rotation plan is to identify the type of soil you have on your field. Knowing the soil type helps you to know exactly which crops can be successfully cultivated on them. You can accurately do this by getting your soil samples to SARI in Nyampala for testing. However, if you cannot afford to do this, you can refer to the crop history of your community to know exactly which crops have successfully been cultivated. By doing this, you will know which crops to include in your rotation plan, even though you might miss out on some crops that have never been tried there but could have done well. The second step is to look back on your crop cultivation history on the field for the last 4 or 5 years. If you have only been cultivating one particular crop, then it is time to grow a different crop. For example, if you have been growing maize alone, then it is time to try some light feeders such as vegetables or legumes. On the other hand, If you have only been cultivating legumes, then trying maize will be a good idea, as it will make use of the nitrogen that has been incorporated into the soil by the years of legume cultivation. The third step is to decide on a long-term plan for cultivating the field that allows your field to not be burdened. You can decide on any of the following plans based on your main focus crop and how the field has been cultivated in the past. You can grow a combination of groundnuts, cowpea, or soya for year one, and then change to maize in the following year and keep repeating the cycle. Two, you can grow a combination of groundnuts, cowpea, or soya for 2 years in a row. Grow maize for a year and then go back to the legumes. You can also grow legumes followed by maize and then go to vegetables. The good thing about crop rotation is that it is very flexible. You just need to remember one very important principle. Do not follow heavy feeders with each other. Always have a light feeder between. Otherwise, you will not be making good use of your crop rotation schedule. You can also have a plan where shallow feeders like maize are followed by deep feeders like cotton. Occasionally, you can plant a root vegetable to reduce the burden on the land before you go back to interchanging the maize with soybeans, cowpea, or groundnut. Remember to not cultivate cereals after other cereals for extended periods of time. Always make sure you cultivate a legume or vegetable crop between to reduce the burden on the soil. If you have more than one piece of land for farming, you can grow maize on one and a legume on the other land. In the following season, you will then interchange them. This way, you will be able to ensure that your fields are always fertile and able to support your crops every year. Practicing crop rotation will also help to eliminate the diseases and pests that affected your crop in the previous season. However, if you only have one piece of land, you can practice intercropping, which will also help you maintain your soil fertility and control weeds and insect infestations. Thank you.
All right, so there you go. And now we will be introducing to you crop rotation, and this will be delivered in a discussion none other than Associate Professor Dr. Malika Joseph-Asmi. A round of applause.
Thank you so much. I think you have heard the whole video, but I want to sum it up, okay, real quick. Okay, crop rotation. Next slide, please. What is crop rotation? It's cultivating different crops on the same piece of land over time. So let's say you cannot flash and burn and then keep moving. You cannot do that. Usually you have, let's say you have this area, 1 acre, and you still keep to plant the same acre over and over. How would we be smart about this? So we have to rotate the plant that we're going to plant each year. That thing we call crop rotation. Okay, next slide, please. We have to be smart about crop rotation. Most of the time, farmers prefer to plant one thing, and then they try to be very good at that, right? And then they know who to sell their product to, and they don't want to change their crop because they know who will to buy, and they know how to take care of that plant so well. So it's your job to convince them that they have to change the plant that they're going to plant next year. People like to do the same thing over and over because it's maybe people lazy, maybe people afraid of being not successful, right? But convince them they will make more money by doing this. By doing successful crops, okay, you ensure soil nutrients sustain. That means, okay, imagine if I were a plant and my root only this deep, I cannot find food right here because my root right there, right? So the food over here, nobody trapped in that nutrient, or the nutrient down below, nobody trapped in that nutrient at all. When you decided next year we're going to plant some plant that the root only on the top level, that means you trap nutrients that you haven't used before, so your productivity increase. Okay, if you stupid like me, I'm going to plant the same plant over and over, so the root will be exact the same length over and over. Next year, I will be very skinny, and the year after that, I will be like super slim. Okay, because I could not find food to eat anymore. The pest population will be controlled. This year, let's say that the pest will be beetle, and if I still planting me next year, that beetle going to increase exponentially. Okay, and the year after that, you have nothing left to eat because the beetle will eat it all before you start having your produce harvested, right? So we have to escape pest cycle by planting something else. So if I were a beetle, I came out, oh my gosh, no food left. What would I do? I'm going to die, right? My babies are not going to have food to eat. So they cut down the pest cycle right away. The weed also be suppressed if you do crop rotation. Next slide, please. So the crop rotation means you plant crop in cycle. You can start with cash crop like vegetable, and then next year you start with cover crops like grass and cereal. Next year you're going to make the soil fertile because you've been using all your nutrients 2 years in a row. So the third year you put nitrogen back into the soil by planting legumes. And then the year after that, you can start cash crop again. Okay? This thing is called crop rotation. Next slide, please. Advantage of crop rotation is improved soil fertility, the disease control, okay, like cut down the pest cycle. The pest control, we control increased soil organic matter, control for soil erosion. Most people don't think about the benefits on increased biodiversity because different because you plant different things different year. So whatever animal or insect or whatever they like this particular plant, they tend to stay in that piece of land. So next year you still have that. So you increase you collecting, okay? If you play Pokemon, have you played the game called Pokemon? Okay, like that. You collecting all the rare items in your land like that. Increase the yield, reduce commercial risk. Okay. Next slide. If you keep planting maize and maize and maize every year, what would you do is that you have a good relation. You have a I don't know, maybe bad relationship with the buyer, and the buyer know that you have no choice except selling your corn to them, right? So they try to increase the benefit by giving you less money next year, even less, even less, because they're going to make more profit. Okay. For improved soil fertility, legume will have a nitrogen fixing legume like soybean, etc. So legume is the one on the crop rotation that you need to think of. Okay, deep root covers crop also is important. As I suggest that if I were my root is like that. Next year I plant something that have deeper root than me, let's say, going deeper. What happened here is that that plant will bring potassium and phosphorus that lay down very deep in the soil. You make the nutrient cycling. Okay, would that make sense? So normally potassium and phosphorus at that deep plant that I usually plant do not have a root system deep enough to take up that nutrient. Okay, growing hay crop as a rotation can result in improved bulk density. The soil, if they are very dense, they have less air pocket, the wood cannot breathe. Okay, by adding hay crop in the plantation, you increase organic matter and make the soil less dense. They call about density is better. Next slide, please. You just plow it in. The disease control. Crop rotation is highly effective against disease pathogen. Okay, small host range require soil or crop residue to overwintering. Okay, soybean seeds nematode. Nematode is a small worm that living in the soil. Usually, if you plant the in Thailand, Thai people like hot food, right? So we plant chilies, like red hot chilies. And farmers tend to plant the chili all the time, the same spot. What happened is these nematodes, they like it there, they live it there, they make it at home. So their root, the nematodes get into the root, and the root become like a knot, and then it once it's infected in your piece of land, they just like the whole thing. It's hard to get it off. You have to stop the cycle by stop planting the chili maybe 5 years in a row to get rid of the whole thing, because once the nematode come out, they have no food because there's no food of the chili anymore. But it will not go away within 1 year life cycle thing. Maybe you have to be like five and 70 years in a row. But the problem is, let's say that 5 of us are chili growers here. If I decided to do crop rotation, but if the other 4 not doing it, the nematode going to move from my land to theirs. So I still have nematode problem. So maybe a community work, work group also important, because the disease is in the same area, tend to plant the same thing, right? So they can hibernate in neighbors. The absence of crop rotation is pathogen optimum condition. Okay, next slide, please. This is for the pest control. For the pest control, this morning, I'm going to tell the story about me visiting Yellowstone National Park in the U.S. Okay, I'm just telling the story. And at Yellowstone National Park, there has a like corn pine. It's a forest. It's a pine forest, like like big pine forest. And then in 2012, maybe I can't remember the year. And the weird thing is that they all die. They like die, like on the road, just like pine cone just die, like big area in the national park. So we asked the park ranger on the national park office, like, what happened? They said that the beetle that usually the beetle die out during winter time, and that year there's no winter. So the beetle just finish the life cycle, and then they kill the pie like in a large area, because it's not cold enough for the egg to die, to cut down the cycle. So the beetle just populated, so the pine cone just die, like dead for, but once they die, it probably takes maybe 15, 20 years to come back, because the pine cone, you might not see much in Southeast Asia, because we don't really have that particular type of tree, like one type of tree, big area like that. But for conifer in the US, maybe in some part of the world, they just conifer, and they the same plant, and then there's big area like that. It was just devastating for me, because I never seen anything like that, like dead standing tree. it's like a pole like that and no branches, and they just standing there because they're not cutting down. And there's no branch because it's fall down, and it's just like that, standing big area. It's because of no cold winter at that particular year. Okay, so this is the same thing. There's a woodworm that lay eggs in the cornfield, and they can leave and emerge and damage the crops. So by cut down, by changing corn to be something else, so you cut down once the larvae come out, there is no corn to eat at the roots. So you cut down the cycle. Next slide, please. Weed control. Uh, when they say weed, that means this kind of plant requires open field, lot of sunlight. So if you plant something with cover crops, so you cover the soil so the weed will not have a chance to grow much. Okay, so it's one of the reason they call weed because you have open field, okay, and then a lot of sunlight, and the weed will just pop up real quickly. So in order to control the weed without using the herbicide, you just control by controlling, limiting the light amount that the weed will receive. Okay? And normally once there's an open spot and then open field, lots of sunlight, the seed of the weed will just germinate and then they just populated. Next slide, please. Increase soil organic matter. This thing you doing like manure, the plant, and then you chop it up and then you mix it back to the soil, so you increase the organic matter that way. Okay. Next slide, please. By doing crop rotation, you help control soil erosion. Soil erosion, this morning, I already tell you that it could caused by the wind blowing the topsoil, or sometimes the rainwater. If you have rain and then your land is on the slope, the rainwater run off, just get down on the topsoil. Okay, so your soil will be exposed and then you're losing the topsoil. Okay, next slide, please. Improve biodiversity. เหมือนไม่มีเสียงเลยนะ Improve crop rotation help improve soil biodiversity by changing root system. Different crop benefit different species. I don't want to feel like I'm yelling at you. Hello. Hello.
แบ่งอันสีดำ
Next slide. Increase yield. Next slide. Reduce commercial risk. This thing is talking about the resistant capacity against different climatic conditions. If we do crop rotation, let's say that year we're prone to flooding. If you do different crops, you know that this year could be there's a 7-year cycle of the amount of rain. Like this year, it's going to be very dry year on the 7-year life cycle, like El Nino La Nina cycle. So this year it will be dry, hottest, okay, longest drought. in the cycle every 7 years. So if we understand the world climate condition and this year has less water, so it's good to change to plant something that requires less water. That means you're more likely to succeed and get the produce. And if you still stupid and keep planting the plant that require a lot of water, that means you will be battle for the water. That will be limited resources. Right now in central Thailand, because this year is so dry, some of the durian dying, and it took 7 years to plant a durian to produce durian fruit, and now they don't have enough water to watering their durian. Uh, 1 month ago, the farmer buying the water, so in water truck, so they come and then they watering. But as the drought prolong, the farmer now don't have money, no more money to buy a water truck to water their durian. And now their durian, 7 years that already produced their durian fruits dying out, and they not happy. It's and big areas and people, let's say might have some pond and have some money, and let's say that she also has durian and she do not have enough water now. Before this event, we are good friends, but now if she come and ask for water, I say no because my durian might not have water to water it, so I have to keep my water for my own durian. So now the neighboring orchards, they fighting and they hate each other because they feel like you have water and my durian is dying. You know what I mean? I don't know. Would you give water to your neighbors?
And without enough. But if I don't have enough,
The problem is you don't know how long the drought going to last, so they don't want to take that risk. And this is happening right now in Thailand, in Central Park, where they're planting durian this year, dying off the area. That means next year we're going to buy more expensive durian. Just kidding. Okay, next slide, please. My question is, I think by now, 10 minutes after we talking, I think you probably convinced that crop rotation is important. And my question is, would I select the right crops for that particular year? What is the criteria, right? You have to make decision what crop you want to plant. Would the availability, would they available? The soil and the climate at your country, at your location, crop types that complement each other that you are going to select. And then this part is kind of more like a role here. The root system, you have shallow root, medium root, and deep root. So you have to make sure that this year, if you plant shallow, next year you plant deeper root system, so they can track down different level of nutrients at different soil level. You need to improve. You cannot just get things out from the soil, you have to put it back. So every 2 or 3 years, you need to plant some legume to improve soil fertility. And then make sure that some of the year you have to cover your soil by you planting some cover plant. So you need soil erosion protection. Okay, so these are the common criteria when you think about crop rotation. Next slide, please. The key success of crop rotation, you could do like this: deep root, and then next year shallow one. Okay, so you alternate between year. This year I will tap on nutrient down below. Next year I will use the nutrient on the topsoil. Yeah, alternative year. Or you could do combination like this: nitrogen demanding crop and then you put the legume, put the nitrogen back, okay, the year after that. Or you could do high biomass roots, okay, with low biomass roots, like Sakawa is very high biomass root, and then you do some lattice or something, and then next year you do another root crop thing. Fast growing crop and slow growing crops. Alternative between season like autumn and spring crop. You can plant different things with different time of year. Okay, so these are combo. You know, when you talk to your farmer, to this kind of combination that you can talk to them. What kind of combo would you like to order or something like that? Next slide, please. Uh, when I talk about shallow root, moderate root, deep root, and deep root, these are examples of plants that have a different root deep level. Okay? Like broccoli, corn, for example, garlic, strawberry. This is like shallow roots. For the moderate deep root, like carrots, beans, beet, turnips, peppers. For the deep root, like artichoke, asparagus, sweet potatoes, pumpkins, rhubarb, watermelon, squash, that's deep roots. So you can do deep root and then shallow root the other year. That means your produce will be high productivity in both years. Okay, next slide please. These are example of 3-year crop rotation cycle. You can start with leafy green, which is like lettuce or Spanish or kale. Okay, so they require lots of nitrogen for the first year, and then the next year you go for broccoli or cabbage, and then the third year you put the nutrient back by doing legume. So you can do 3-year crop rotation like this, and then you will be rich. Good looking, all the neighbors want to be your friends because you always have a good looking produce to serve the farm. Okay, now any questions? We're going to do activity. Uh, what is the conversation? So this thing, I think it's good to give you guys 10 minutes to write down if you want to do 2 years crop rotation or 3-year crop rotation, and what kind of plan would you do each year. Okay, I would like to give you guys 10 minutes, and then we finish around 2 o'clock working on Padlet. Put down the country and then providing the crop rotation that you think the farmer should plant. Anybody has any question? Yeah, I give you guys 10 minutes. Just put down the country so I understand the point of view of the country. Yeah. 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 Yes.
Everybody's focus with catching crops that they want for crop rotation. Our palette is so colorful. Tomatoes. Don't forget to put your country's name on top so you can edit. If you forgot, you can just like click on the three buttons here, and you can edit your info. So you can put your country. All right, so in 2 minutes, maybe we could start sharing with the crop rotation techniques or the crops that you are recommending. So if you want to put the name of your country, you can see this in your Padlet. There's three buttons, there's three dots, and when you click it, there's like edit. So you can go back to your post and then write down the country's name. So we would be able to know what country or where is this candidate is coming from. But look at that, it's very colorful and beautiful. We're just waiting for some explanation as to why you would recommend that as part of your crop rotation. Since it's a crop rotation, so you can put many crops as possible in your country for a suggested crops or recommended crops as part of your um, crop rotation practice. Okay, so maybe we could start sharing our output. So we have there again the lucky wheel. Let's see who will get the first to present. So we will be giving a chance to others to speak for their group. We have again from group one. So a while ago, I think that was Lucy who did the presentation coming from group one. So now let's give a hand to Muniro to explain the crop that is being recommended in Nigeria for crop rotation. Let's give a round of applause to Muniro.
Everyone, I recommended the culture in Niger. First, yeah, Niger.
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 Nigeria.
NIGER.
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 Is that your photo?
Oh.
Our production this year. Tomato. Next, I have three propositions. This is 100% proposition at the University this year.
That's it. They look very yummy. Fresh.
Next, please. Yeah. Only.
Your house?
Yeah.
This is your house?
My university.
Oh, your
Our
university.
greenhouse
Greenhouse.
at the university. Thank you.
Very nice.
Would you mind sharing us why you choose cabbage, lettuce, and tomato as your crop rotation crop technique? I mean, crops for your crop rotation.
Improve our soil.
Okay. So, any questions? Any other questions coming from our participants?
Okay, I add the new rule. Okay, hang on. Let's say group one is representing the idea, right? So the next group two, has to tell, to give him a compliment. What he say is good, and then when group two says something, group three, you have to find one compliment to give to group two presentation. Okay? It's again, this afternoon we will do that. Give you know, think of a way to compliment the speaker. Okay? But it's hard, right? A real compliment, not like totally like fake one. Okay. Oh, okay. Why not we practice by group two compliment group one presentation? Something, yes. That's good enough. Yes. Okay. Good. Okay. Joseph, want to ask something?
Yes. In the presentation, is a two different land, one at the home, one at the university. Different lands. One at the university, one at your home.
All at university.
The tomatoes are where were the
They are
tomatoes?
planted in different land. Different location.
Different locations. The same land where after tomatoes, you put lettuce, after lettuce, cabbage.
Yeah. Three and
So that I'm looking at the all vegetables and all year round they're going to do and the same
seven sets.
Yeah. So I think it will be.
And this is the proposition. 7 plus tomato, 1, 2, lettuce, 3, cabbage. And this is the reduction.
Yeah, the same family and the child the same place.
I think what he's trying to say, what he's trying to say is instead of planting almost a big family for your year, why not introduce something? Something to replenish.
We are having
Mushroom.
Yeah.
Okay. Please do not feel bad, but I think this is a good constructive suggestion. I think what they try to suggest is that if you plant some legume or something, it will enhance your productivity instead of planting the same vegetable, the same family over and over. So you eat the soil because they require the same nutrients. Okay? Okay. It's good taken. Okay. Thank you. Okay, next group. Group three.
All right, group three.
Yep. I suggested the maize and the beans. We are rotating maize and beans. Why? Beans have a nitrogen fixing roots, yet maize are monocotyledonous, so they control the nitrogen in the soil. And the maize take long to grow as compared to the beans. Also, a common practice home whereby if it's not rotated per year, if someone has a small piece of land, they can dig intercrops. Still one of the homes.
Is it in practice in Uganda like that? If
Yeah, for commercial farmers, you can grow maize for 2 years the next year you grow either soya or beans. The same land. If you have say 1 acre and you're subdividing, then it means you can grow maize and beans at the same time.
Would farmer receive the same amount of profit? Let's say if they grow maize, they probably have $1,000, and if they go grow beans, would they have the same amount of profits per year?
No, it depends on several economic things, because some people will plow, they plant, weed twice, others might not weed twice, very expensive. People using the tractor to plant and weed, some of these. That's why people say common.
My, my question is that, in order for farmer to maintain their family budget, right? They should have some, let's say if they grow corn, they get a lot of money. They rather grow corn every year, right? But the problem is they could not grow corn every year because their productivity increase if they continue growing corn.
We cannot grow only corn every year because if you keep growing corn only, like that phase, you might not even produce.
Ah, okay. So that's why
That's why
they
we
have
need
alternative years. Okay.
For intercropping.
Even though bean might not give you much, but at least they give you something. And then next year, once you grow corn, you get profit. Something like that, right?
Yeah. We do a lot of corn for food and also for animal feeds. Poultry and eating aquarium, producing of pellets. Even producing of dairy, we get a lot of pigs, mainly sauce, a staple sauce in our house. Because commercial is also is not the woodland though, because there are some areas where it's put like a California. But our central western, we produce a lot of food. And we sell some and we keep some as sauce.
Most of the time it's for consumption,
Yeah, most of that farmers is consumption.
not for profit. So how can we pay the profit then?
What would they make of a living
Yeah,
if they grow beans?
For
That's my
consumption.
question.
yeah.
When you grow things that means you have to got the nutrition to your family. Because there are a lot of water in the beans.
But when you say you grow corn, it's a big piece of, it's a black field, it's a nice land, right? As you grow corn, but when you grow, you say grow wheat, would you grow the whole
Like
piece
the
of
same,
land?
the price of corn has been very bad at the level we produce. We buy a kilogram of seed at say 7,000 a kilogram. If the harvest is, it can go up to 400 per kilogram with the seed. So what farmers do, we add value. We produce food for our home, then the waste is for animals. So you sell animals, you get profit than the maize. So you give the waste, which is maize bran, chicken, you get eggs and chicken. So you sell chicken and eggs at a higher price than selling corn.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what we do.
okay, for animal feed. That's good.
Yes.
Somebody has a question?
Due to the weather conditions, we are more likely to engage in competition. There's some season that everybody's planting, we have to plant. There's season that everybody's planting things, we have to. So for example, when you
Why
plant,
would you have to plant the same thing that everybody else planting?
absolutely push demand at our plant. So it's what's moving the market, we work in on the market. So the market is not on the market. Mostly when it's so when they transform, the economy out there. Summer right, and used to overcome the shocks that are coming to the restore and we restore the test. That's created some
used for pop. It's like Oscar. It's pop, you drink it. You grind the maize, and then you sterilize it. Yes. So the maize is used for a whole lot of things. Then the beans, you can cook it, eat it directly, or you can have it, you can grind it and make it's like sludge, or you cook it, like in a call it moi moi, like this, you cook it. So for a subsistence farming, a small scale farming, you generate a lot of money. You sell to the market. So people that want to consume, you can cook the corn and sell to the public. As a maybe $1.50 like that, you sell it to the public. Then when it's dry, maybe you are able to sell everything, you sell it to people that produce the pap. Then we also have cereal company, or that was the last scale, that produce cornflakes. So they produce on the last scale. Then process it and sell that. So all year round, products on corn never waste. It's always profit. Same with fish. Then the plant yams. So because of our weather, you have to engage in crop rotation. There's some crops that go as fast as the time. There's some go as fast as the time. So automatically you're engaging in crop rotation. But locally, some of them are not even aware of it. So they are doing it unintentionally.
That is very good compliment to what you just said. He also adding the economics perspective because some year corn is high demand, so all the farmers like to plant corn. And then next year, let's say beans on high demand, so the farmer rotate because of the market demand already. So it's a positive way of getting crop rotation.
I think it's a comparative model, like what you say, because we are very small holder. You can produce alone and produce 5 kilograms. So no commercial private sector will come to buy 5 kilograms. So, but if you're very many, everyone grows then you together to get that demand. That's what. So that the only association we have with no one crop, which can be collected and sold to the bigger market.
As a community.
Yes, they have like association as an
Association of
So
farmers.
you can have a bargaining
Exactly.
leverage.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
collect all of them, then you go to the market as one,
As
not
one.
as the whole
You
farm.
have more power in bargaining. That's very good.
One about the idea who made the hill with the soil, you know, because before 40 or 50 years before, there were farmers, no engineers. They asked just for planting some rows, 2 years, and the third year, they put plants to fix it nitrogen. They not ask for more money. Just thinking about the soil. Because if we use the technique and we destroy the soil, as you said before, that's when the change minus, change the climate. So the change minus is good because to protect our soil. But now all farmers need to more economic, more money, and more benefits. For that,
To pay the price,
yes,
yeah, so
sorry.
for the soil pay. That's a good way to convince the farmer. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Okay, so okay. This is a very engaging.
It's a hot topic.
debate. Okay. All right, so let's welcome the answers coming from China.
Yes. Here I will introduce a model for 3 harvest a year with 3 crops: potato, corn, and carrot. We will potato with plus cover and coal between the line, and then first we'll harvest the crop, the petal, and then we'll get the cabbage. And after the harvest of the corn, then the last harvest is cabbage. That is three harvest a year. Next,
Next.
and after number two. This is a kind of the edible mushroom. Edible mushroom.
Beautiful.
Platala, Ticana. This is two harvests a year. Two harvests a year. That when we finish the harvest of the edible, and then we catch the vegetable.
What is this?
That is to how to the nutrition for the edible mushroom. For nutrition from here.
Oh, the nutrient.
Same as the fertilizer for the yes for the crops. Yeah, so there are a lot of models for the rotation and it's kind of typical.
So you plant mushroom and then the next year what?
No, this year, annual, like this year. But after the harvest of the mushroom, and continue to plant the vegetable. We can harvest the vegetable in this year.
What vegetable?
Cabbage, lettuce, spring lettuce, leaf lettuce, leaf lettuce. And I think that is the flower, not flower, the flower vegetable.
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower, yeah.
Why mushroom, right? Yeah. You were thinking.
Why mushrooms?
How would they choose to plant mushroom?
This protected area mainly for produce the mushroom. Mainly for produce the mushroom.
It's expensive.
Yeah, very expensive. About 120 RMB. Yeah. Kilogram.
20 yuan.
1 kilo at 20. 100 at 20. That
1 kilo is 20 yuan.
100 at 20.
120 yuan. Let me calculate.
1 yuan is
5 baht. 5 baht. Yeah, 1 yuan is 5 baht.
700. More than 700.
600 baht per kilo.
Only fresh. Only fresh.
120, right? Times 5 is 600.
Only for the fresh mushroom.
Fresh mushroom.
Yeah, if fried, it's much more expensive.
Okay. Wow. Mushroom is a good thing to do now. Expensive. I never had this kind of mushroom. It looked kind of funky. I mean, like, it looked pretty cool.
I don't know the name of the in English. I don't know. You stir fry it. How do you cook it? To
In the
soup. Yeah, soup. And to make the vegetables meat together.
Yeah.
It looked like Christmas here.
At work, have.
What? My friend is nutrition.
It's fertilizer.
For mushroom.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
That's food, yeah.
Yeah, this one.
More real action. Morchella.
For the dry one, 1 kilo is
Morchella.
more than $100.
True moral.
And the dry one, the mushroom.
7 kilograms, 7 kilograms fresh mushrooms and dry to like
Morchella is polenta. Morchella bonita. And other Morchella are not.
And this thing plant near your hometown.
yeah, a lot.
A lot of
Yeah, a lot.
So if you want to have a fresh one, this is her.
That's very nice. Recent year, we researching on the model of the rotation after the for mushrooms, we can harvest for 4 years after plant of the seed of the mushroom. 4 years, 4 months, 4 months will be harvested. 4 months. And cultivate the vegetable.
Okay, very interesting. This is pretty cool thing.
Funny enough, in the some parts in Africa, we can definitely hear.
He wants to ask.
In Africa now, for us,
Now we have to wait. Go to the phone. And in our culture, when you find people picking the wrong plastic, you have to put something like that. So it's called the restaurant, it's like plantation. Now the modern farming of mushroom is done mainly by steady association. They don't plant all like this. They process the farm waste, people go and put it, then place the seeds there. Every morning, let it go and spray moisture and then kilo of fresh at $2, and then the dry one at $10. They also process it into maybe porridge, it's like maybe porridge and then.
Wow. Must be very yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially even mushroom soup, use the fried bread.
So the short of the mushroom will be much more than the fresh one. Yeah, it's very much.
Thank you for sharing. This is a new idea on like a vegetable, and then you do the fungus like mushroom.
Yeah,
It's a new idea.
and it's highly expensive.
Yeah. So
So
basically, you grow the mushroom, but whatever you do vegetable as a part-time job, but the real money job is the mushroom.
yeah, that's true. You're getting a lot of profit out of the mushroom. Morchella. Morchella. All right, so thank you so much, you, for that idea. Now let's move on to the next presenter, group two. Group two, who's gonna be presenting? Yes, sure. Oh, okay, Adele. All right, let's welcome Adele from Qatar. A big round of applause, please.
Because of the visa, it's a list of land. Yes. Because the weather and we have 4 months in the year, we cannot plant any vegetable outside. All we use creates a greenhouse. For that, we outside have 6 months we can plant outside. The other like 6 months we cannot plant anything. The sun and the weather, the wind, we cannot too much.
Too much sun.
50 degrees.
Okay.
Sometimes 50, yes. Everything burn.
Burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
April, okay, May until the end of August, we cannot anything outside, okay? Because, equal. As my work as landscape, we work and because we provide water all the time, it's coming okay, no problem. But for vegetable and outside, no, it's not planting. For tomato, we farm it outside and make good yield and benefit for the farmer. For that, we use to plant tomato and some other vegetable like lettuce. I got 3 hectares. But in general, 6 months okay, and the other 6 months no. So, only greenhouse. Yes. For the last 10 years, it's become good idea and really big efforts from the government to help farmers. They give them greenhouse free.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Because the country runs agriculture country, okay? They give them fertilizer, pesticide, government gives them everything and loans. To encourage them to plant and do some green. Because you see all the results. Maybe agriculture more than 3%. 3%. All results. Really. Government do major reform. Good. Before, no way. Nowadays, I think it's good and the future will be better.
So most of the farmers they have
Green,
in-house.
too much. Yes. And this is also free.
Why not, right?
Yes, because they have to do something. And vegetable is no much, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's good to plant the produce and then locally grow.
So, thank you.
That's very nice.
That's very nice idea. So, any questions?
So how, where is the water supply?
Like in cycle from domestic local to education. For landscape, for agriculture and it's from where?
From well.
But it is not too much.
Not too much.
Not enough, because salt water. This is salt water. Need to make a treatment to
Do you use the water from salination plants? They need to put a lot of energy to
It's costly and very.
it's costly
Yeah.
from sea water to be water that they can use for watering and stuff like that.
Electrolysis is
But I'm not sure how far to go
Okay, who report? Do something to make
Yeah, but I think greenhouse is a good way to control for water resources. To, like, good crop, good crops. Okay, that's very nice. Thank you, for sharing information.
Any more questions or suggestions, maybe? Okay, so let's move on to the last one. I think the last group would be group 4. So anyone would like to share from Vietnam? Vietnam.
Yeah. In relation to agricultural production in Vietnam, we focus mainly on rice as one example for this. Yeah. And besides what we focusing here, just one important information that Vietnam is now this one country is achieving more production to larger. We have production, especially rice. And we take rice as the first thing. Yeah. And with the rice production, we have a kind of production. Salt cereals production for rice. So it's overall previously rice in the north. Yeah. The second type of production, rice production is the medium term from 140 to 160 days per crop. And the long one from 200 to 240 days and maximum 270 days per crop. So that's what making the soil climate in the south of Vietnam. And that's why from different provinces, we apply crop rotation differently. Yeah. So the for crop rotation. So here I have the example for 3 provinces, but they are mainly in the from the middle to the south Vietnam. That's right. Yeah. So in Vietnam province, the conversion and control testing are effective on rice soil with protein crops such as soybean, sesame, corn, melons, watermelon, and lotus. Yeah. And with Thanh Hoa province, they have only they have crop rotation such as early winter, spring rice, corn, or spring summer and spring summer legume, or summer autumn rice, otherwise early winter spring rice, spring summer rice, and then corn, and then all legume. And then for crop rotation in short term,
short-term periods can be chickpeas, peanuts, corn, and then blue tea, hybrid blue tea peanuts. And with the first province, instead of growing rice 2 to 3 crops per year, many farmers now choose to rotate one rice crop and then 2 to 3 vegetable crops, and including cucumbers, lettuce, and some leafy vegetables. Yeah, so that's what I want to share with you. But I think that's an example for the rice, crop rotation in the north.
Also, all of these provinces are in the north of it. Oh,
Yeah.
so
And then,
England province is in the south or the central?
yes,
Oh, up, part of the south.
Yeah.
It's a nice.
as it's covered, I think it's years or the short and long term periods of production. Okay.
All right. So what's amazing about the example is that the plants that they're planting are actually adapted to the climatic conditions from the central part going to the south part of the province. So that's a really amazing technique. Any question? Any curiosity from our participants? Okay.
I like the idea that the Vietnam that present. The idea here is that the farmer, the rice farmer, once they finish rice, and then they do 2 more crops in that same piece of land per year. Some do 4 different crops, like rice, and then they do soybean, and then corn, and then watermelon, something like that. So that particular farmer do 4 different type of fruits all year round. So they will be super busy,
A lot of profit.
make more profit, and make a living. That's amazing. In my opinion, Thai rice farmer, they tend to, if they're in a irrigation canal area that not a rain-fed area, that means they have water all year round, they plant rice 3 different crops per year, over and over and over. And I think that's the wrong thing to do. But I think the way Vietnam doing, I think this is a smart way. And they changing from middle Vietnam, like in the central of Vietnam, and then moving down south, they do different crops for their farmer. I think this is smart. This is very smart strategic plan for Vietnam.
It's the same part in the Philippines. So like,
Really?
yeah, Mindoro has like one of the region there also do this kind of practice because they are producing the rice capital in the Philippines. So they have like
I mean, Thai rice farmer always complaining that they're very poor, but it's because of the way of they doing 1 crop per year. How to earn a living throughout the whole year, right? That's not possible. So by doing 4 different type of crop per year, you earn.
more.
And then this is also resilient because among all these 4, in a good year, you probably get all the 4, right? But in a bad year, sometimes you get 3 out of 4. You don't really hit very high production on watermelon, on rice, on soybean. You probably don't hit, all the top score in all of the 4 products per year. But very likely, it's very good. Amazing. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
lot of laws related to trade law that they oversee. Because not Vietnam, but most countries depending on agriculture, depend a lot on the overseas laws. And that's why this gives rise the right to farmers or not. It depends on if the profit from that or not. So that's why the then laws came, I think, 5 times. From in 1990 to now.
Vietnam has a good practice. That's very good. So, this Padlet will download as a PDF, and then we will post it on a messenger group. So you will have a good looking Padlet as your part of your work today. Okay.
Anything else? All right.
Thank you. So, I want to make reference to one of the reasons why I tend to unintentionally practice for subsistence farming. It's because of the involvement of people in the country. So very happy for the environment. They come together and policies, frameworks, which guide agricultural processes. And most of we have like a farmers registration system where farmers register with the government. Then when it's planting season, then the government releases seeds to the farmers. So that planting seeds to the farmers.
Or give it away.
Yeah, they give it away.
Wow, for free?
Yeah, it's free. And fertilizer is subsidized. Yes. They give it away for free for the farmers. So that way they can easily manage the process of the production process, also enhancing crop rotation. The reason I'm saying this is when you made reference to Thailand. So I believe that if the policymakers and researchers such as you is involved in the agricultural sector, you can advise the government. Then the government in turn talk to the locals and even the big farmers. Okay, this is how you go about it to have much more effective agricultural thing.
All right. So thank you so much for those brilliant ideas coming from our participants. And anyone would like to add more? Okay. So at this time, there is already food for thought. So go ahead, have some refreshments. Let's take a break for this very overwhelming interactions that we had and take your break. So go ahead and relax yourself and have some fruits.
We have some mango, some oranges, maybe some apple and some grapes. No durian. If you want durian, you have to go to the market tonight.
Yes.
Durian very smelly, so I don't want to be. Some people don't like the smell.
Actually, it's only $3. For my, for my MP, one dollar, you can get it in $2. Nice.
In the shopping complex, I saw two services. So I thought, must be always, that's why. But we go to, we don't have a market. By nature of the that's why you automatically guys two point three four. That one is 2.4. It's all 2.4. So instead of it automatically come all the working, like the working. As a design. How people go for it, when they see and they buy food from the money, and also our working people are happy.
Yes.
Whatever will be done, but I'm saying, because of cost of production, that's why I'm saying, sure. We are only 7,000. 7,000. Whatever goes from done is negative.
So the product is required.
Yeah, what you buy from here, from India. But China also is good. But we don't have very big. We want India, China in the north, India in the south, but we don't have that. So, one thing that comes to India, goes to India, and right now, then it comes to us. We don't we have two very big countries. And then north, and then south. We are just like. Similar as well, let me see. Well, next language. You know, reason what we have. Like it. Yeah. We want what do you do have? You also have. You also have. You also have to.
More than 25, more than 25.
You know what's the hole? Just close the hole, right? The button is behind we just take this right? Dirty. Just make this amount of water, get soap, and just
This is my first.
yeah, this first week is easy.
Yes.
Better second week, third week. I didn't want to bring my dirty clothes there. I didn't want to afterwards. I bring the hammer. I bring five. I bring it every day. Every I go, I bring it. So I have to when I have to cafe working, I bring it. You know the cafe has limited amount of when you go to the cafe, your country the small match of the tiny of yes. You have so many devices, you have so many phone, you have that. Then you are on the guest commission of everything. I'll see you. I have prepared.
Essa na vez que foi, todos os dados que eu achou. O mix para se cagar na palavra.
Even I prepared. I asked my friend, hey, what is the other thing?
Yes, yes.
Because my boss is only it's military. It's very far. I wish I could time. Maybe I can't do one in this is going rechargeable.
Hello, hello. Everyone, I just have one question for tonight's dinner. Where do you want to go tonight? I mean, for dinner. Your decision will definitely affect the result. So, remember yesterday, some of you wants to go to have dinner by the beach. How about tonight? I mean, after this training, where do you want to go for dinner? Anyone?
Any recommendation from the locals? Street food. Street food. Street food.
Okay, new place from yesterday. There's so many places here, but which one do you prefer to go to? Let's hear from Chris. Which one? By the beach.
Yes.
Really? Yes. Okay, if everyone wants to go to the beach, then we can go to the beach at Sichuan. That's the one of the best places to visit for dinner. Would everyone would like to go for dinner to the beach? Okay, so then everyone will go, and then yeah, are you ready for playing in the by the beach? Okay, so it's like 20 kilometers from this university, and we will arrive to that destination by the beach. Okay then, so that's decided. Huh? Yeah, it's a restaurant resort actually. So everyone decided for dinner to go to China Lake. Because yesterday there was a suggestion of Pitpung and Pineo to go to Sichuan to be the nearest.
This one is up north, another
District.
half an hour, and then by the time you get to the hotel, you add an hour. That will be exhausted. Dark. So, ที่อาจารย์แนะนำตรง Sunrise Beach
Sunrise Beach, but finish
Yes.
Sunrise Beach here.
ใกล้ๆทุกอินเลยก่อนถึงก่อนทุกอินเลย
Ah, ตรงนั้น
ใช่ในทุ่ง
Oh,ใช่ Sunrise Beach is nearby here.
Get out of Bolivia, go to the main road. The van drive for 5 minutes. There's a way to go to the beach. They have a very many food restaurants on the beach there. It's on the way back to the hotel.
Yeah,
You
in Sunrise
need to
Beach.
drive another half an hour to get there, and then you add half an hour and 20 minutes here. By the time you get to the hotel, you need to get because you add an hour and 20 minutes. Much company to a day. So I suggest the one right here, and the food is really good. Seafood is really good on the beach.
So Sunrise Beach tonight.
Yeah, Tutik, but before Tutik is more expensive, more expensive. But I suggest the one before Tutik restaurant is reasonable price.
Oh, okay. So it's decided. Sunrise Beach. Yeah, there's a wide selection of food. There's a lot.
Wide selection of food.
Right, there's a lot of food. There's a lot.
It depends on definition. It's all seafood. Right? It's all seafood, but what do you mean by variety? Because only either fish, shrimp, or squid. But they can cook many things when you. but it will be Thai food. I said you cannot order seafood spaghetti, no, they don't serve that. But they serve some Thai food, but and it's seafood. You worry, I can tell. But the simplest thing, you can order like a stir fry, fried rice with sweet fried rice with shrimp that you do, or shrimp with basil, or garlic shrimp with rice, something like that. It's plain but tasty, and it's fresh catch. Or fish, deep fried fish with rice, and then they put they use the mango sauce, and the other thing you can put over the fried fish. Okay. What?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's proceed to the last topic for today. We have different topics, so let's watch the video before we go to the last lecture.
No, they have one more on agroforest. There are two, intercropping and agroforest. You do it quick so you can go to the beach. Give you incentive.
I think it's worth it. At our farms, we grow organic grains and oilseeds, mostly that's our largest business unit. And wheat intercrop with flax, peas intercrop with canola or oats, we grow barley intercrop with sweet clover, and the sweet clover is for nitrogen plowdown or for forage production. Intercropping, in my mind, is growing more than one crop at the same time in the same field, and not necessarily inter-row cropping, although it could include that. On our farm, we specifically are growing two different crops in an effort to provide competition to the weeds and also to emulate nature, or at least partially emulate nature in the way that monocultures aren't common in nature. It's like nature never wanted a monoculture to grow. That there was always more than one species growing in an area. But I find that when we intercrop, we're typically not seeing the disease problems that we used to when we had monocultures. Intercropping plays a number of roles on our farm. The primary one is weed competition. We aren't doing inter-row tillage. We're trying to establish a crop that provides canopy competition for the weeds that are there. So essentially, if I have something growing with my wheat, let it be flax that I can mechanically separate and sell for an added premium. We find that there's a financial benefit as well, because we seem to realize an extra 15 to 30% just as a from the hip rule of thumb for net dollar per acre return. So wheat production hasn't suffered on our 5-year average now that we're intercropping flax with it as compared to when we were growing wheat alone. We're still seeing organic yields of 40 bushels to the acre, but now we're getting 5 to 8 net bushels of flax that are adding, $100 to $200 net return per acre, with only just a modest amount of extra work. The other role it plays is utilizing more efficiently the acres that we have. So the successes come when you can select two crops that are ideally utilizing, a different array of nutrients or a different portion of the nutrient balance that's available in the soil, and they might even have different root structures so that they're accessing it differently. And then ideally, where you would have a benefit or a synergetic relationship
in the rhizosphere of the two different plants where something happens where the two of them together wind up producing more than the monoculture would by itself. So we're looking to see each of two different crops at roughly, as a rule of thumb, 2/3 of your standard seeding rate for one crop. When you put 2/3 of each crop together, sometimes I play with that, you'll see different balances, but ideally, you'll see oats still yield the same as they would in a monoculture when you actually have an extra 30 bushel of peas in there. And then the protein that gets set whenever peas is grown with something seems to be higher. I think it's ever that we have seen 100% failure of both crops. You can have differences in moisture or differences in something locally in different spots of the field that might cause one crop to fail, but we find that the other crop then flourishes. I've also had situations where when I've had wheat pressure, thistles, for example, the bane of organic farmers, I will go out and clip over top of the canopy of the shorter crop, salvaging the shorter crop, but clipping off the thistles so that they don't set seed, and it still allows me to generate a revenue from that land. So most of the benefits ultimately wind up converting into a financial bottom line incremental increase.
Okay, here what we're going to do. We will finish intercropping and then agroforest by 4:30. So we will leave half an hour earlier today, so you can go to the beach. And then you will have enough sunlight, okay, but the sunlight, we have sunset around 6:30. So you still have dinner while you still have light, okay, it's better than eating in the dark and still coming out. Okay, so we'll do something quick, and then done with just to get the same amount of knowledge. For intercropping, okay, next slide please. Involve for crop rotation, you plant different crops at different time of the year. But this thing, you plant 2 or more at the same time. Okay, they call intercropping. So you plant this legume and then with the maize or something like that, the same space and the same time, but in different rows usually. Next slide, please. Because we are on the CSA course, okay, climate smart agriculture. So when we thinking about intercropping, how intercropping contributes to CSA, right? It improves resource use efficiency. Intercropping allow different crops to utilize space. Okay. Hang on. Plant compete for sunlight. Okay. Plant compete for sunlight because they need to photosynthesis to get sugar, and then they change that sugar to be like roots or structure of the plant. So in a way, different crops require, or different plants require different amount of sunlight. So if you know that corn needs this kind of sunlight, and then sometimes the corn providing some shading, and then some plants that you plant in the middle of the row between corns, they require less sunlight and they prefer some shading. You take that advantage to choose that particular plant to plant between the corn rows. Does that make sense? So if you do that, you optimize the utilization of space, sunlight, water, nutrient, also the fertilizer. If you put, you have to apply fertilizer to your corn, when they lash out, the plant that you plant in the middle of the row can use that fertilizer that normally gone with the rainfall. Okay, so this is why in the cropping, it will help farmer to do resource use efficiently. Okay. Example here is a taller crops like corn provide shade for lower growing crops. Some people are planting pumpkin. Pumpkin?
Yes.
You know pumpkin? Okay. And then corn, pumpkin, or something like that. So they utilize some the same space. Okay. And the pumpkin helping corn by retain soil moisture. Okay. So they help each other. Okay. If you plant legume in here, not only they help with the soil moisture, but they also put the nitrogen, rich, making the nitrogen rich soil. So the corn eventually, when you farming the legume, it helps with the corn production next year. Next slide, please. This morning, she already told us the story about Napier grass, and then corn, and desmodium, okay, push and pull model, okay. It's enhanced pest control, okay. Next slide, please. It suppress weeds, okay, as a natural weed barrier. Next slide, please. Potential microclimate creation, different crops, taller crops like corn. It sometimes farmer, if you have big piece of land, sometimes they plant really tall tree as a fence to block the wind. Because if you have a very windy, all your topsoil, the wind just blow all the nutrients like topsoil gone with the wind. Okay, so the taller plants, it slow down the wind and block the wind. We call wind protector. Okay, it also slow down the wind, helping for the delicate plants that do not, it will like the leaf just step on, right? Not only blocking down the wind, but it keeps the temperature, it regulates soil moisture and the temperature and the relative humidity on the atmosphere. So it helps to create microclimate that appropriate for the crops that you produce. Next slide, please. The concept here is that if you were a farmer, you have to think how you arrange the role of the intercropping, at what density, how many maize you're going to do per acre, right? How many corn trees that you're going to plant. You have to think of how many days corn going to be ready to harvest. And then everything else that you plant between corn, what is the mature dates of that crops, right? And the plant architecture. Next slide, please. These are 4 things. For the arrangement, row intercropping can grow 2 or more at the same time. Okay. You can do strip intercropping, grow 2 or more together, wide enough to permit if you if you are a rich farmer, okay, if you have big piece of land, you can you will have a problem with workers, like few workers. You cannot hiring. Sometimes they just quit, or sometimes it's easier to buy a machine, and the machine collecting all the big crop. So if you do strip like that, you make sure that your machine can just you can drive them between rows easy. Okay, you have to make sure the space that you do, the machine can actually doing that. This also other way, like this too, it doesn't have to be grown like that. For intercropping can be mixed like this. Well, okay. The intercropping plants should be 2 crops and then 1 standing crop at one time. Next slide, please. For density, you have to estimate optimum density, adjust seeding rates of each crop. This thing might need some research. Okay, I'm going to show you in a few slides. Okay, that's why representative like you from university, from institutes, from department, like agriculture department, you have to help the farmer on doing optimization for your farmer. Okay, how basically if you have a seeding rate very low, but you have high productivity, this is what you want to do, right? Like less seed but more produce are coming out. For example, plant to grow corn and cowpea. Next slide, please. For maturity date, planting crops. The advantage of planting crop is variation in the peak resource demand for the nutrient. That means if you planting two different things and mature at different time, that means they require high nutrient at different time of, let's say this plant require high nutrient in January, but the one down below require in March, for example. So that means they not compete for the same nutrient at the same time. So this is good. So that's why you have to make sure that the peak resource demand are not the same time, are not happening at the same time. Okay. The example here is the plant corns and harvest it before the bean begin to climb. And then once you're collecting the corn, the corn stalk, you're just standing there. So the bean can climb the dry stalk. So you don't have to find the stick for the bean to climb. And then once you collecting the cowpea, the corn thing, the dry one, collapse. Yeah, and then you just plow it back to the soil and you get fertilizer. So that time you get the corn and then you get the stick that they can stand using the corn stalk, and then you're collecting the cowpea. Okay. They suggested that plant the corn 40-inch row. The peas have enough sunlight to grow, but by the time that when the pea growing up, okay, so they can climbing the corn stalk and receive enough sunlight by the time that the pea require high sunlight. Okay, next slide please. The plant architecture, these things is suggested like corn, beans, and pumpkin. Okay, the pumpkin is down below, the bean climb the corn stalk, and the corn, you're collecting the corn first, something like that. So they call, there's a thing that call this thing, we call grading, something like that. You do the different combo, like it's a two combo. They call plant architecture. Next slide, please. The LER, it means land equivalency ratio. The way you calculate it, this comes from intercrop corn divided by pure corn. Let's say if you plant pure corn, how much corn will you get per acre? And then the researcher have to do the corn that getting from intercropping, okay? And then plus the intercropping P divided by PLP, okay? And this ratio, if it's higher than 1, we should suggest the farmer to do intercropping. But if the ratio less than 1, that means you should suggest the farmer to plant monocrop, not intercropping at the same time. Does that make sense? I will show, for example, if this ratio has 1.25, which is higher than 1, so that means the yield produced in the total intercropping 20% more than planting one thing alone. Okay, that means the farmer will gain 20% more yield than they lose single crop. Okay. I will show you this, next slide please. These are examples. Uh, this is corn pound per acre, this is the pound per acre, and then this is a hypothetical situation. If you do only corn, you will get 50, 5,600, and if you do only pea, you get 1,200 peas. And let's say you do low density corn, medium density corn, and high density corn. Okay, what will you get? Okay, as you can see, none of these is the same as you do only corn. Okay, and none of these will not receive 1,200 as you do only pea. But if you do all of these, if you don't see this number, okay, if you do all this, if you were a farmer, which one would you choose? Should you do only full corn or full pea or medium corn, low corn, medium corn, or high corn? Mm. Okay. Since I already showed you the equations, and then everybody know the answer, the correct answer is 1.32. Okay. That means you get 32% more productivity when you do cropping. And this kind of information, it requires research in your country to do this for the farmer, and then after you do the calculation, you know that it will be more 30% more benefit for the farmer to do this option, for example. Does that make sense? Next slide, please. Managing intercrops. Okay, the combination. Different countries to choose different combination, but these are example of combination like corn cassava, corn peanuts, sorghum millet, and then sorghum efficient pea. Or you could do short and tall crops, or you could do relay intercrop, or you could do two tall crop, but they have two different growth rates. Okay? There are many ways to do intercropping. Okay, next slide, please. 5 aspects to successful multiple crops. The farmer has to understand, do the detailed planning, the timely planning of each crop. It doesn't mean they have to plant at the same time, because like pea and corn, you know that you want to collect the corn first, and then you want the pea to climb the corn stalk. Okay, so you timing the planting period, adequate fertilizer at the optimal time. So you make sure that whenever the corn requires the maximum nutrient, they have it, and the pea not compete for the nutrient. So you time that. Effective weed and pest control and efficient harvesting. Sometimes the space between rows, if the machine can go and collect or harvesting, maybe that thing would be optimized in terms of the cost of hiring workers. Okay? Instead of hiring workers, just having machine to run through the row or of some plants that we plant. Okay, next slide, please. View, next slide. Example of intercrop system. This is corn, bean, squash. For intercropping, people have been suggested to do corn, bean, and squash. Is optimizing available resources. Okay, so they're showing that doing only corn, doing only bean, and doing only squash, and then by doing intercropping here, and then you can calculate the LER. Okay, next slide, please. Escalating biodiversity and stability. Intercropping, you have several crops at one spot. usually you have lower pest than pure stand. Higher natural enemy population persists in diverse mixed environment. Okay? Because the predator uh, will have food source at all time. So basically, you don't need to hire the natural predator. They're always hanging out with you because there are always diverse food available on the ground. You can harboring them because they will stay with you. Okay, that's good. Next slide, please. This is push and pull pest management, which is she already explained it this morning. Okay, we don't need to go over that anymore. Next slide, please. Uh, when you do intercropping, you can add animal. Okay, you can add grazing animals to manage cropland, reduce cost, increase income, increase diversity. Okay, in here you can see that you can add sheep, or you can add pig, you can add cow. Okay, to intercropping, you can integrate livestock in here. Next slide, please. You can add chicken. This morning somebody said add chicken in. This is good. By having these, for livestock, it's like usually you sell the livestock once a year, so it's like a yearly salary. But the beef vegetable you sell, that is the daily allowance, right? But a mango you probably have in 3 months. That could be monthly allowance. But for the sheep and the cow that we sell it once a year. So that's a big Thailand one. Selling livestock. Okay, next slide, please. I already suggest that if you plant tall tree around your big piece of land, you will block the wind. You will stop soil erosion. This kind of thing they call landscape farming. The farmer not only doing plant but also have to manage their landscape to maximize their crops. Okay. One of the way is that they doing planting trees here. The nice part about trees here, you know what it is? There is a refuge for the insect and the pest control, the biocontrol. They sometimes you clear the land where are all your beetles are going to help all of your let's say spiders that help get rid of all the aphids, for example. They will come to the hotel right here. And then once you start planting and all the food coming out, they leave the hotel and then they go and have dinner. Okay. So having tree here blocking the wind and also helping harboring, they call farmscaping. Okay? It increase biodiversity. It benefit in the wind breaking and it's also helping with natural enemy for pests. Next slide, please. I think it's done. This is the last slide for intercropping. Anybody has any question on intercropping? Yes.
Right, okay. Number 13.
Yes.
They also with the LDR and
LER. What is the
Going back one slide. Now we are.
oh, sorry.
when equivalency rating.
Next.
So what is LDR is connected with the profit. So example, maybe is economically corn is more expensive than I assume that. So you say that
the medium corn was the best. Medium corn 1.32 is the best LER. So maybe I assume that in one day, in 1 month, the corn price is high. What I can do is that I will have 5,000 pounds per acre
So you
high corn.
high corn.
Yeah.
One
What I
lakh.
can choose, what I can choose there is
You
L-
can, you can, you can.
but you say that the best LER is
This is the productivity, but it doesn't calculate with price. Would that make sense? You have a really, this is pound of corn, and this is the number of pound of peas. But as he suggests here is that if the price of the corn 10 times higher than peas, you probably want to choose this option.
more profitable.
Yeah.
In that case, it's
I agree,
price.
I agree, I agree, I agree, I totally agree. But in terms of productivity, how much more that you receive from the land, this one give the highest in terms of pounds of product. But if you add economic factor like the money that the farmer will get, you probably like, I don't care much about pea, I rather maximize the corn while I receive some pea because I want the natural fertilizer from the pea.
So LER is connected to the productivity.
Not the price, because I did not time the price of that produce at that time.
So the farmer can use the best possibility to get the most profitable.
Yes, and I think it's kind of I think this kind of thing maybe government has to help the farmer, right? Because let's say we know that the tendency of the market now, the corn is on the rising slope. You can predict that by the time the farmer harvesting their corn, their price will be like that. It's better to suggest on the density of between these two products. The market.
We need to watch the market, price and decide. Corn or
Yeah. Would that make sense? Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, that we are looking at only two variables,
Mm.
but if now you introduce the third variable price, like change, given the parameters of the price. I wonder how you come up with a planting time frame. Because right now, we look at the harvesting time. Or at the gap between the crops. Days, like 1 foot, so we start with the 3 days, we plant beans. Then after 1, that's where we introduce. So you first have the beans, then corn, then you make the farm. What if people say, tomato plant?
You asking if you were a farmer, when should we plant what?
And then you plant, okay, so the planting time for plant is also important. Of planting to read ways, corn, and this way of doing it. What ways to plant fast? So that's like,
He is trying to say in his country, the planting dates are different. They are not, plants are not planted twice. Planted
Mm.
what have you
I don't I don't have the answer. Okay, I don't have the answer, like, would there be a formula, planting, like, in interval? Uh, I will, okay, why don't we keep this question when, you have a soil scientist come and meet with you next week? So we will keep this to the soil scientist and ask, if he has experience on the timing of the planting. Okay. That's a, it's a good question, and thank you so much for asking. Okay, it's this thing. If you're talking about yields, that is the optimum yield. But talking about the price, the money that the farmer will receive, that might changing from this to be that, or maybe not going to be at all. Maybe this year we're going for that, and then next time because we already have plenty of money come from selling the corn at that season. That also possible. Yes.
I was just thinking about the interplay about the property when you are having I'm guessing that in my country, majority of the farmers who put their resources for food, they might not use when it's the inorganic fertilizers to plant the vegetables, but they might use very minimal amount of the inorganic. For those who are able to run the created meat of women, that is for the space they are planting, they plant a bottom crop and still they plant the legumes without the manure. So I was able to when you use the intercrops, there is more resource inputs compared to so the economics at the end of each one, but you produce this amount of times, and the farmer will produce this one. What are the resources of them? So that you are able to balance when you are given or you are just talking about the so it's normally so in your family, no strategy.
Let's see if I understand correctly. You suggest that farmer tend to do monocrop because it's easier to manage, and then they
useless
Resources.
less resources in the farm.
less resources.
Like fertilizers or manure.
What we try to sell the idea is that in intercropping, the fertilizer that the corn cannot use, it will wash and then out of the farming area by the rainwater, it just like shot. And when you put some plant there, that plant can trap that fertilizer and use it, so it will not go to waste. Does that make sense? That's supposed to be the concept.
Because now we people do manually.
You put what?
We do manually. Manually. So because of the manual to read the whole
We can go to the time. Because now, when I'm waiting corn alone,
they are solar plants, I can do it very fast. If there's trees, which is below, I have to be careful with taking and trees. So we can check more when it's it can go.
Cost of mandate,
Because my
mandate cost, mandate one.
Okay, but if you have empty space, weed will grow. But if you put some beans there, it grow instead of weed grow. So you don't have to weed them because the bean is there. It occupies the space. So you don't need to pay for the weeding because the bean is there instead of the weed. And
But
you don't,
it's fixing. Now we can fix it. How it starts from the way. I think that there are no ways to go. I think what she's trying to say is, for example, since we are planting more than one crop, the chances of it growing are very, very small.
right,
Because the other crops are utilizing all the nutrients.
Right.
They have
Exactly.
space.
right.
And the less,
For we to try to become environment.
because here's the thing, although you are doing monocropping and you think you are spending less resources, it's actually you are doing a lot more effort because you have to clean by weeding. Unless you plant a significant plant, that might lessen the burden of weeding and increase your productivity at the same time. Maybe there's a possibility that you have another resources to be used. So in weeding, you will not get profit, but you just have to clean it, right? But if you have another plant, then you don't need to weed, and you get something about it, something from the plant. And plus, you're not wasting some nutrients coming from the main plant that you had on that area. So it's like a double or triple benefits because you had put something on it. Instead of you thinking a monocrop and then you will just have focus on the manual effort just because you don't want to, you think that doubling, having two plants might double the effort, which is technically not everything will double the effort. Having corn and peas, say for example.
I'm sorry, okay. Um, Example that I gave might be bad because it's not clear, but I'm suggesting this example, coconut. Have you seen coconut tree? Okay, it's really tall and it lasts for like 30 years. And normally people plant something between coconut row and then you harvest it and then you get benefit. That's easier to understand in the cropping than corn and peas. Okay, sorry. I should say coconut, and then they plant many different things between coconut tree rows, and then they harvest it. Does that make sense? In Thailand, in southern part of Thailand, we have a lot of rubber trees. Okay, you on the way that maybe you pass some of the rubber plantation already. The first 7 years, the rubber tree very small. Okay, and if I were a farmer, I probably drop dead because there's no money, no income for 7 years. And then it's supposed to be 3 by 4, 3 meter by 4 meter between rubber trees and rows. Okay, so there are plenty of space in between, but you cannot plant big trees on the row of rubber tree because you're expecting the rubber tree to grow in the next 7 years. And then once it grows and you can milking the rubber trees, it lasts for 30 years. Okay, so during that time, the Thai rubber plantation, they start with watermelon for the first year, and the second year they do chilies, and then the third year they do something else. So they do intercropping while they're waiting for rubber plantation to get really high and big, fat, and ready to be milked.
Yeah, we have the same concept before. Where we intercrop bananas,
Banana also.
bananas,
Intercropping.
coffee, and soya beans. Bananas take 1.5 years to grow and produce. Coffee, almost 2 years. So we have the medium kind of crops. So we make soya. The 3 years of growth, several beans there. Then after that, as you wait for coffee and banana.
And then the soil getting better too because you put beans in there.
Yeah, fix example.
You fix it right again, We use soya for making the feed for animals. We also pursue meat, for protein, and feed. It helps also against the farmer and feeding patterns.
Sorry, I think corn and pea is a bad example. Thank you for asking. Okay. We're going to move to the last part, and we finish in half an hour, so you guys can enjoy each. Agroforest as the last topic. You watch 2-minute video. Okay, hopefully, 2 minutes video bring you to the topic on agroforest. Okay, we will go to the slide on agroforest. Agroforest is cultivation and use of tree and shrubs, tree crops and livestock in agricultural system. Okay, instead of clear cut and then planting monocrops. In southern part of Thailand, right where you located right now, local people tend to do agroforest. They have mangosteen, they have mango, they have varieties of big trees all together. So when you go there, you don't really know what kind of orchard that they have. They have coconut trees and everything. So Brampton, like something. They have several things all at once. So once they want to get something, they have it, but they have only one or two trees in an area. Okay, next slide, please. Type of agroforest. There are two different types of agroforest. I think the one that have a grazing animals under the tree, so the animal enrich the soil while the tree producing shelters. I mean, provide shelters, for the animal. Next slide, please. Riparian and buffer zone. Usually, riparian tend to mean the area that very close to like a river or stream, and then you have some riparian zone. The one in northeastern Thailand, when the location that we bordering with Laos and Cambodia, in that area, that province tend to grow something near back home, riverbank. Okay, they grow like tomatoes, or sometimes they grow. I can't remember. I can't think of the English word. Sorry. Something that they use for smoke. Tobacco. Thank you. In the area, they make pretty good produce there. Okay. Agroforest, if you grow big tree along the edge of the piece of land, you do windbreaks. So the tree and shrubs planted and managed the barrier to reduce wind speed. It's a part of a crop or livestock operation. You can do forest farming. Okay. Next slide, please. You can do home gardens. Okay. Next slide, please. The benefit of agroforest, okay, is store carbon, it's help soil enrichment, it do biodiversity conservation, and water quality improvement. In terms of interaction between tree, shrub, crops, and livestock, it enhances the interaction. They provide optimal mutualism, optimal commensalism. This is in terms of relationship between within species and among species. They minimize predation and minimize competition between species. For the positive interaction, it reduces stress to the plants, it enhances the yields, it retains soil, it captures more water. Sometimes some interaction can be negative interaction. If you have many different types of trees, sometimes it's causing resource competition between tree species. Sometimes you're harboring more pests. It is also possible. Sometimes they're overshading each other, so they compete for sunlight. Okay. Sometimes they have a chemical poison to prevent other plant species to grow in that territory. So, so the interaction could be positive and negative. It depends on farmer. They have to select particular type of plant that they provide positive interaction. Next slide, please. Next slide. The benefit of agroforest is that control runoff and soil erosion. It maintains soil organic matter, bioactivity for soil fertility, more efficient nutrient use, reduce soil acidity and salinity, utilize solar energy more efficiently. That means plant leaves, they can utilize or capture more solar energy to produce sugar, reduce insect and pest and disease, increase soil water availability, reduce economic risk with producing multiple products. That means you reduce your risk because you're more likely to gain some money from something that if some species die off, okay, or have some outbreaks of the pest. Next slide, please. Benefits of agroforest. Tree provide shelter for livestock during the warm month. Tree blocking the wind and keep water retention level for the plants. Salinity and water table control. Soil erosion control. Tree canopy root leaf litter prevent soil erosion from wind and from rain. Water locking tree reduce water locking. Next slide, please. Benefit from agros, maintain productivity to cultivation, fertilization, irrigation, pruning, and cleaning. slide, please. Last slide. Okay. This is the end. We're going to finish the day with the Kahoot quiz, and then you guys can go off to the beach. Okay. Sorry. Okay. We still have one more.
Prize.
Prize. Okay. Get ready. Get ready. Put your name on the door. Join the game team. One more. Okay, we got 19.
Okay, I guess we're now ready to start. Are you ready? Okay, so let's start. The first question. You're ready. What are advantages of crop rotation? Improve soil fertility, pest control, increase yield, all of the above. Who's the fastest? Time's up. All right. There's one. We're going to wrap up. Anyways, let's go and check. Okay. MC. Who's MC? MC is on the top. Sorry. Okay, let's go.
What are not benefits from planting cover crops? Reducing raindrop impacts, speeding surface runoff, reducing sediment detachment, reducing soil loss. What do you think is the answer? Okay, so there you go. We will see now who's on top. Oh, it's not John. John is on top. Let's go to the next one. What should we consider to choose the right crop? Solid climate, crop root type, crop types independent from each other, or need to protect soil erosion? Four more. Three did not give your answers. Okay. All right. It's getting close. And it's still John! I think John will get all the prizes for today's Kahoot. You still have two more questions. What are factors influencing intercropping? One, low density, spatial arrangement, maturity dates of crops, or plant architecture. You have 10 seconds to answer. Be fast and be right. There we go. Who's gonna be on top? John? You only need one question. All right, next. This is the last question. What are benefits of agroforest? Soil enrichment, water quality improvements, biodiversity conservation, all of them. Oh, and the answer is, there you go. For the third place, we have Musa. Congratulations. Second place, Indoor Pride. And that's the time. Group 1, congratulations. We got all the prizes for today. Other groups, how are you still All right, so there you go. That concludes our lectures and activities for today. And so it's time for you to apply this knowledge. I hope that you gain some knowledge that you could apply in your country for these lessons and activities that we had. Intercropping, agroforestry, crop rotation, in which group 1 emerged as the winners for today's activity. Yeah. So other group, you still have more time to steal the trophy from the group 1. Okay, so thank you so much for your attention, and let's give a big round of applause to our lecturer, Dr. Martha, and thank you so much, guys, for actively participating. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.
Yeah.
So now it's our speech time. Okay, so you can now pack up your things and
Hit the rest.
or you can go to the restroom place. Just like for restroom. Remember that for the dinner, you can ask John.
Number 2, 2 times.
Yes, yeah. It's almost very close.
Very
Very close. The competition is so close. Tomorrow, there's still a lot of time.
I changed the cable. My wife said, one strike, I like to do. I was just sleeping.